Thanks for listening to another episode of PSL on the Mic, the City of Port St. Lucie's official podcast. We're here today with Scott Samples and Avi Manina, my colleagues from communications, because they're going to talk about a cool interactive website that we've just launched called PSL in Progress. And it is going to show our residents kind of a snapshot of what's going on and a snapshot of the future of what they can see regarding infrastructure, development, parks, and everything like that. It's really cool new tool that we have, and we're going to take some time to talk about it today. So welcome, you guys.
Hey there.
It's a bit odd for me because, they're my colleagues. This is weird. Introduce yourselves and what you do here, how long you've been at the city.
I'll let Scott go first.
Okay.
Well, he's very kind. Well, my name's Scott Samples. I'm the Strategic Communications Manager, and I've been with the city for about 2 years, but been in this area for more than 20, so I've seen a lot of the changes that have occurred.
Yeah, cool. Avi.
Avi Molina. Been with the city for just getting to 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were 5 when you started? No.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I've been in the city for over 20 years, so as Scott said, a lot of changes happened. Yeah.
Cool. So what is PSL in Progress?
PSL in Progress is a website to showcase projects the city is doing. The different take on it is that it's a very visual way to show projects. Typically, you would see a big map and a ton of details, a ton of text describing the project and what it's going to be and a lot of good stuff. We took a different approach. We wanted to show our residents like I said, a more visual way, an easy to digest version website. Yeah.
So obviously there was a need for it. I know we said that our director, Sarah, was talking to you guys about it because we already have a website kind of dedicated to this stuff already on our website, the project tracker.
Yeah.
So explain kind of the genesis of that, how it formed from this website that's kind of text heavy to what we have now.
Yeah, I think, as Avi mentioned, we want to take a different approach to this, and we hadn't really seen anything quite like this in some of our research on what other cities were doing. I think part of what we wanted to do was to show people not just that there's a project that's taking place, but really what is it going to look like in the end. And so we've tried to use some visual tools, Photoshop, some AI, some video to be able to show, here's what a project looked like before, here's what it can look like after, or in some cases where a project has, been done in stages, we might be able to show here's what it started out as, here's what it's like now, here's what it can be as we look forward. And I think a lot of residents, when they think of a project happening, maybe they're in the beginning stages of it or in the middle of it. It's hard to imagine what it's going to look like at the end.
Sure.
So this is a way for us to be able to show here's how it's going to benefit our residents in a more visual way than just trust us, you're going to have another lane.
Before we get into how we created it, because I think we're using technology that we already have added with a little bit other things. What sorts of projects are on PSL in Progress?
So currently the categories are road improvements,
Okay.
flood prevention, parks, CRA projects, and utilities.
Okay.
Yeah. We're trying to cover everything.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But talk about the technology and how you create it, because you guys have been working on this for a few months. Maybe
Right.
longer than a few months?
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Technically, it's still a few months.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Talk about how you created the website, though. And
Sure.
what it
So
entails.
we got in touch with our IT department. We wanted to see what tools they're using to create maps. We want to see if we can use it for this. We found out that they're using story maps. We have a subscription to Esri. Esri makes story maps. They make maps. They have a ton of different tools. So we started digging into story maps and see what it can do. And we found out you can create a pretty cool visual web page that can display a ton of information in a graphical way.
Interactive.
Yeah. Cool. So we didn't have to go out to hire somebody to make this. We made this in-house.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah. So that means not just cost saving, but also means that we can update it super quick. We don't have to rely on somebody to update it on the outside. And it's something we already use. So we have the support from our IT department if we need it, and I did need that when we were building
Yeah.
it, because this is something I had to learn from scratch. I had to just look everything up, consult with IT, and build this thing together.
You mentioned updates. How
Yeah.
often will this be updated?
Well, it's ongoing. So this is kind of a living, breathing document. And so some of that might be dependent on how often something is updated. So maybe some road projects might have more updates than, say, a long-term community redevelopment project or a long-term utilities project. So we work with the departments not only to help to create this, so we wanted to make sure that here's the projects we think are important to residents, here's the projects that we think are going to have the most relevance to all of our stakeholders. What's the information that we need to provide, make sure that it's accurate and complete. And we'll continue to work with them to provide those updates. So for some of them, you might not see an update for
Too
quite
much,
some
yeah.
time. Some you might be able to see more frequently. Our goal is to kind of monitor it over on a monthly basis and see what updates might be most relevant.
When residents, now the website is pslinprogress.com, probably should have said
Yes.
that. When they go to this website, what are they going to be able to do? Like, take us through someone
Sure.
visiting it for the first time.
Sure. So again, we made it extremely simple. As soon as you get on the homepage of the website, you're introduced by 5 boxes, which are the categories I mentioned earlier. You can watch a video that kind of goes over the types of projects that are in the website, and then jump right into the projects. If you're interested in parks or if you're interested in road improvement, just click on it and just scroll. It's a scrolling page. So as you scroll, you're gonna see all the projects in the city, and then they're gonna drill down to a specific
Kind of narrows
project.
down
Yeah.
to each one.
So it's a very simple to navigate website.
So it's basically just using your mouse, more or
Yeah,
less.
you're literally just
You're
scrolling the entire time. Yeah.
So this is telling our city story around development, infrastructure. Scott, can you elaborate on that? How are we showing our residents in this interactive way about our story and everything that we're doing?
Yeah, I think what we've tried to take, to Avi's point, we try to take sort of a holistic approach that, very macro, that can kind of then go down to a micro level. And so as you think about, again, you might not necessarily be thinking about you might think about a project that's like right next to my house, or maybe it's on my commute to work. But you don't see maybe the 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 other projects that are happening in different areas of the city. And all those are interconnected in some way. So as you think about flood mitigation and the drainage projects, there could be entire areas of a community that project could affect. And a road project may well be a part of that drainage project. And so we really wanted to show sort of this holistic view of all the different types of projects that are occurring across the city, but also be able to go, if you're really interested in finding out what's happening, at Torino Regional Park, you can do that. Or if you're really interested in, what's being done thus far at California Boulevard, you can go to that. And so it's really a way for residents or anybody who's interested in it to kind of go in and choose their own adventure of what they're interested in learning about.
So it takes kind of like a big picture and dwindles it down into, like you were saying, you can see everything from the start to what's happening to what it could possibly look like.
Imagine looking at a presentation someone's making and reading the story, and we basically combined it. You're getting the story and you're getting the presentation in one spot, and you get to see the after. So it kind of paints the whole entire image for you of the project.
And I want to talk about our departments too. We're doing so many projects, and this kind of showcases all this great work that we're doing. I'm sure you've talked with the department heads and people in there. What is their take on this project? Because it's showcasing their work. What do they think about it?
I think from the folks that I've talked to in the different departments, I think they're really supportive of it, and I think that they think it's a cool way to show the story. I think even for people who are in the daily grind, every day, if I'm in public works and all I'm thinking about is building roads and sidewalks, I may not necessarily be thinking about what's happening in the utilities or a park or something like that. So I think even for our employees, seeing the vast amount of stuff that is occurring across the city it's really pretty cool to be able to understand, like, there's a lot that's happening here. One caveat to this is that we're not showing every project either. We're really just trying to show the 7, 8, 9, 10 biggest road projects that
Major
are
projects,
going to
yeah.
affect people. And we've also put something in there that as it continues to grow, there'll be new projects that we'll be able to highlight so people will understand kind of what's coming up next too. And once we have some that are completed, then we can start to show, here's the work that's been done as well. So I think when you really look at the types of projects that are taking place and the amount that are taking place, I think it really shows that this city is actively trying to improve the quality of life for residents in a lot of different ways.
And ultimately, what do you want residents, is there something in particular that you want residents to take from this project?
I think the purpose of this project
Yeah.
is to educate our residents on what we do, to show them that it's not just the road they drive on every day that is being constructed. It's also a park on the other side of the city is being constructed. So it's just about education. It's how do we tell our story? How do we tell our residents what projects the city is doing? Because as you guys said, there's a lot of projects.
Yeah.
We do a ton of projects in different areas of the city. This is a good place to visit on a monthly basis or even bi-weekly basis because it gets updated all the time with new information just to stay up to date with what's happening.
Did you guys run into any roadblocks when you were creating the website? Was there something that you found it wasn't going to work or that you kind of overcame and figured something else out?
Yeah, nothing too specific, but it's never perfect.
Yeah.
We can only work with the tools that this platform gives us. Yes, there's a ton.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, there's
Yeah.
a ton. Yeah.
Most of them were me, not getting him the
Content,
There's
yeah.
sometimes you think of the project and you know how you want to tell it or how you want to
Yeah.
show it, and it's just not.
You just don't have the tool to
It
do
just
it.
doesn't have the correct thing to show it, but it does have a ton of tools, and I think what we produce is a really good and interactive website. Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I had this vision of magical images jumping off the screen that are going to, and it wasn't quite that. But what I think, to Avi's point, like what we've created is I think it's a helpful tool just again to be able to see what projects can be and again, I haven't really seen anything quite like it where you're sort of predicting what the future is going to look
Right.
like to a degree, and I think that's what was pretty cool to me to see it actually come to life was while it may not have been this AI sparkle that you might have seen in
Yeah.
a Disney movie, it was unique and it was cool.
It's I'm gonna echo what Scott said. I myself have never seen a project or a website that takes not just where we are, but actually where we're going and actually show you what it's gonna look like. That's something I've never seen. And I think that's a really helpful way to tell somebody, this is what we're doing, and this is what it's gonna look like. Because there's a few projects in there that we're adding or expanding an intersection, and we're adding like 4 or 5 different lanes. How are you going to explain that so it makes sense? But we have a slider that shows you before and after. When you slide, you're like, oh, they're doing a lot.
Yeah, and we were talking about this. People like to see things. It has to be visual. They don't want to read everything.
Exactly.
And we have a project tracker already on our website, but it's very text heavy. So this just kind of elaborates on that, breaks it down to like some major projects. Because project tracker has pretty much everything on
Right.
there.
Yeah.
But I think what it helps with our residents, because it can be frustrating to be like, when is this road going to be finished? Oh my God, this park's been going on for 5 years. I think when they see the end result, like you're saying, like when they use that scroll and see what it's going to look like, I hope that kind of reinforces the fact that like what we're doing is for you guys, it's for our future and for our infrastructure.
And I think some of these are really complex,
Oh, yeah.
comprehensive projects
Yeah.
that, I've learned a lot. Again, I've been with the city now for a little less than 2 years, so I've learned a lot going through this process just in terms of how projects are put together, what do they entail, and as you think about why has something taken longer than planned, well, when you see that here's where a road is going to go, or here's how it's going to expand or change, there's a lot that goes into that. It's not as simple. It's one thing for Avi to put an arrow over an image on Photoshop, but these guys are actually having to dig in, and they find problems, and they've got to do a whole complete drainage system redo, and that takes time. So I hope that what this kind of helps to do too is to show sort of the complexity of these projects and create a better understanding of what goes into them.
Yeah.
The main difference between the project tracker and PSO Progress, and by the way, we did include a link to the project tracker in there because there's some info in the project tracker that we don't include.
Right.
It shows you, well, we do include the stages of the project. What I wanted to say is we're showing you the construction phase, because that's what people see when they're driving around.
Right, sure.
They just see the construction. They don't know about the planning. They don't know about the design.
The design, right.
The bidding, all that stuff that's happening behind the scenes. The project tracker kind of tells you everything in there. We're giving you what you're seeing with your eyes when you're driving.
The meat of it, what people want to see.
Exactly, because that's
Yeah.
what people know, right? They see construction, they know it's not done, right?
We're providing more of an overview, and this is
Yeah.
this is a way to supplement the work that's in the project tracker.
Sure.
And again, as our employees or our council people or whoever are out talking to the public, then this is they can point to this and say this is what it's going to look like and what it's going to be. And I think as we continue to as this project matures, we'll see cooler things start to happen. We'll see new opportunities. We'll see new projects, new types of projects that'll come on board, and we've kind of accounted for that type of growth as well.
When a project is finished, Tradition Regional Park, I know that's on there. It'll remain, or will it be taken away and updated with something else?
So
Have you guys thought
we're
about
actually
that yet?
talking about this because this is brand new. So we're
Yeah.
trying to see, what do we do when the project is actually done? At this point, we're probably going to leave it under for a little bit because it is nice to see the progression of the project.
Sure.
And then eventually we're going to have a completed project section.
Oh, good. Okay.
And it's
Okay.
gonna take some with stuff on the website, maybe like a video. We're still kind of working through that, but we definitely want to highlight the progression of the project. Yeah, we
Okay.
don't want to get rid of it completely.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
And I think it's important to show,
Yeah.
hey, look,
Everything we've done.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't just the stuff that's happening now and the stuff that all of these projects are a part of a larger vision set forth by the council and the city leadership, and so we want to be able to show that that holistic picture of what is taking place across the city.
Yeah, we're going to do a big push, too, for psonprogress.com, be on social. We're going to do a press release and just kind of remind people for a while, maybe a couple times a month, that, hey, this is here. It's for you guys.
I think it's a really good tool for people.
Yeah.
It's not just us saying, look at all the cool stuff we do, or look at all the hard
100%.
work we do. It's,
Yeah.
hey, you want to learn about what we do, this is a really good, easy way to just learn.
Right. It was interesting. Avi and I actually were out. We were visiting a couple of the locations today, and we were. I think I was struck, but we were at St. Lucie West and Peacock Boulevard, and they've already started to do some of the work
Yeah.
there. And so we were looking at where a future lane's going to be, or here's where another future lane is going to be, and one that's going to go directly, from the east to the west to I-95. And you see where the traffic is now, and you're able to understand visually much more what those improvements are going to look like and how it's going to make that travel that much easier. So for me, just like having seen it and being immersed in it a little bit, it really gives me a different perspective than had I just looked at an engineering drawing of, this is where the
Blueprints
lane
of
is gonna be.
something.
And that's what we do. We take those engineering drawings. Nothing wrong with them.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
We take them and we're trying to, okay, how do we turn this into an image that people will see and understand what it is? Because as engineering drawings are just lines all over the place.
Pretty
They're
elaborate,
they're not photos.
And
you
we
would
don't
see
know
on
what
the
they
website.
mean. Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing.
So that's our interpretation of it.
Right, and we work really well with our departments, public works, utilities, whoever it is, and we're able to call the engineers and say, hey, what is this? We don't know what that means because we're not engineers. And they explain to us, and we take it and we turn it into something that our residents can make sense of it, basically.
I think we have that perspective of being lay people to understand
our
the
job.
things that we don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then be able to have direct access to the people that do, and then try to translate that for other people. And that's kind of what this project, I guess in a nutshell, is sort of what this project was trying to do. If we can understand it, then, especially if Avi can understand it,
That is correct.
Our residents will be able to understand.
then anybody can understand it.
Yeah.
Talk departments. This is a huge undertaking that you guys taken on, and it's finished and will be ever evolving. What is their take on this? Are they excited about this project? Are they like, what are you guys doing? This is crazy.
I think initially there may have been some, what are you guys doing? This is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think to their credit, like, they are seeing things in a different perspective than we are. I think it's important to note, as we do many times throughout the website, but these are not the final. This is not what it's going to actually look like. This is a representation of
Sure.
it. So I think like they want to make sure, because they're being held to deadlines and to legal conditions, and they're going to hear from people that are not happy if a road has to infringe on their property or whatever. But I think as they saw it, I think they recognized that our goal really was just to show people what something could be, and it's a way to highlight the great work that they're doing. So I think as we continue down this path and they see that we're not trying to give them a bunch more work by getting updates and things like
Right.
that, and that they'll embrace it more as a tool and opportunity. And I think again other employees and staff across the organization, this is a tool for them to either share or to help educate themselves.
And you guys haven't killed yourselves in the past couple months. So how was putting this project together? How was that for you guys? Did you want to, injure him periodically? Was there bloodshed?
No.
Or
I think we both had our struggles on, because this is at least the first for me taking something. It's a big project.
Yeah.
It may not seem like that way, but it's a huge project translating all that text and all those graphics and plans and stuff like that into something visual. It was a big undertaking, but I think as we keep going, we almost have a template.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
and like Scott said, the departments realize what it is now. Because in the beginning, we were just, hey, we want to highlight your project. We want to show your projects in a visual. And they're like, what?
Now they see it.
Now they
Yeah.
get it. And it's easier now to get the stuff. It's easier to translate. And it's with Scott, he's the writer. So I'm not the writer. So he gives me the content.
People don't care about words. So
That's true. It's only the visuals.
We got to slim it down. No, it's a big undertaking, but I think it's going to get easier as we keep going, as we get more projects. Yeah.
And it's definitely worth it. We're doing it for our residents.
Yeah.
It's just a way for them to see what we're doing, the really great projects we're doing that are going to improve our city.
And some
That's what it
projects,
comes down to.
projects you may not even see. Like for example, we have a utilities project, a plant project, that most people will not know it's even happening, but it's improving the city. It's improving
Right.
The water quality. So we want to include, we want to show them, because that's the kind of stuff that's happening that if you don't know it's happening, you will never look for it on the website. So another nice way of showcasing utilities and other departments that are doing things behind the scenes.
Do you think there'll be updates maybe to the program that we can add tchotchkes and little new different things to, perhaps?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know what they are yet, but keep an eye out.
We didn't know what this was going to be 6 months ago.
Yeah.
True.
But I do one of the things that Avi's included in this is an opportunity to sign up for an email when an update comes in. So we really, I think at some point we'll look to see how we can make sure this is as interactive as possible with feedback opportunities, because we want to make
Yeah.
sure that we're providing the kinds of information that are relevant to residents as well. I do think there'll be some new tools, again, as we think about AI getting better.
Sure.
How can we incorporate some of those types of things differently? And, the template is a great example of how things start to speed up as we're kind of going through this. And we're like, okay, let's create a template so that it's the same information on the front page and you see the same type of image. And then the next page is the same type of information, and then it comes to a more medium. So as we kind of built those into the tool, we were a lot faster in how we were able to do it. I think from a user perspective, and we talk a lot about this, what is that user experience? I think it'll make it more contextual for them, a little bit easier for them to navigate from project to project. So I think you'll see a lot more refinements, as well as some of those maybe bigger leaps as new technology becomes available.
And did I hear you correctly? You said maybe in the future there'll be a link where people will be able to get an email sent for updates
You can do that.
about the project.
Right now.
Oh, you can do it now? Okay, great. That's awesome.
We actually got one already. We're not sure who it came from, but
Yeah,
Maybe-
somehow they sent an email in.
Yeah.
Well, they signed up, yeah. So it's great.
Okay.
it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of conversation between Scott and I as far as changing and adding and doing revisions on how, because user experience is, for me at least, the number one thing.
Yeah,
When
of
you go on a
course.
website, any website, it can look super pretty, but if it doesn't make sense the way you want the information to show up, people are just not going to use it, right? And this is a tool we hoping people, residents, and employees will use as their resource for projects. So I know I spent hours with Scott as far as going back, adding dots or adding boxes or adding
Yeah.
colors and stuff like that. So it's very easy to understand what is happening. Like when you
Good.
scroll, when you go to any project category, the first thing you see is a bunch of dots around the city where everything is. As you scroll down, you're going to see a huge dot. Still see the city limits, but you're going to see huge dots. So you have an idea, okay, where is it in comparing to where I live, maybe? You know, so it's not just zooming in to an area. We're trying to make it simple. That's the word I like to use. Make it super simple for people to use.
And that's it. Scroll. That's all you need.
Yeah,
PSL in
literally.
progress.
You
Good.
know what to click. The only time you have to slide is when you want to see the before and after.
Right.
You can slide, which is a really cool thing to have. Yeah.
And there's instructions in there.
There's instruction how to
Good.
slide it in case
Okay.
you're having an issue.
Well, it's pslinprogress.com. We really want people to go and use this and see all of the great projects that we are doing up through maybe 10, 20 years from now, because it's important to us that our residents know that we're working on infrastructure, we're creating more parks, and this is just an easy way for them to see that. So I want to thank you guys for coming in. We're going to end it with our 10 questions, which I know Avi has participated in before,
But I forgot what I answered.
but he forgot what he answered. And
So-
this is just a
I
way
did
of...
want to add one more thing.
Okay.
We built this to be very responsive on mobile. So that means not just
Good point.
desktops or
Yep.
laptops, but open up your phone, go to psnprogress.com, and you're going to have the same functionality someone's going to have on a desktop. We didn't want to exclude anybody.
And, well, everybody's on their phone.
Everybody is on their phone.
I prefer to look at it on my
Yeah.
desktop, but most people are mobile friendly. They want to see it that way. That's good. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, so he forgot his answers
Yeah.
last time. So we do this just to get to know our staffers a little bit more, and it's fun. And I like putting people on the spot. So I'm going to yell out a question, and the first thing that popped into your head. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, I'm not always that smart. Is it 1-on-1?
Sure. Done, done.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I don't want to go first?
Too bad. Go ahead.
You're going to go first. Ready?
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Shawarma. It's Israeli food. I'm Israeli.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to the dictionary for that one. I'm going to say pizza.
It's a good one. Favorite movie?
Any of the airplane movies? Yeah.
Scott?
That was not the answer I was expecting. I've got it broken down by genre, but I don't have one specific, so I'll just say Saving Private Ryan.
Good choice. Favorite hobbies?
Good question. Being on the water, so anything on the water, kayaking, boating, yeah.
Being really bad at golf.
Yeah.
He's really good at that hobby.
Yeah,
good at
that's
being
great.
bad.
That's the whole point. Your favorite singer or your favorite band?
Um,
I know you remember your
Queen.
answer. Queen. Okay.
yeah, I
Nice.
think that's what I answered last time, maybe.
And I also think you added ABBA, but
Yeah, ABBA, Queen, yeah, Ace of Base, all those old school.
Avi hasn't really matured much since
No.
the 80s.
I don't listen to pop, so.
No.
Scott.
I'd say currently it's Jason Isbell.
I did want to add I listen to EDM all the time, too. So.
that is electronic dance music for
Yeah.
everyone who does not know.
Yeah, I didn't want to
word.
exclude that, yeah.
Favorite book?
Probably the employee handbook.
Wow.
Great. Scott?
I can't really follow that one. Mine is an autobiography of Harry Truman.
You need to read more, Avi.
Okay.
Your favorite holiday?
Ooh, I would go with either 4th of July or Hanukkah. Yeah.
Okay.
Used to be Christmas when I was a kid.
Now it's my birthday.
Now that I'm married, it's Thanksgiving. But ever since I turned 21, it was St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. And your birthday, I believe, is around the same time.
It's a coincidence, yes.
Okay. How about your favorite places to visit?
Locally, it's the beach.
Not locally?
Israel.
Okay.
That's definitely not locally.
Yeah, it's
No.
it's a lot out there.
Western North Carolina.
Beautiful. Favorite dessert?
Cheesecake?
Don't say it like a question. Cheesecake.
What I'm thinking. I'm asking myself, is it cheesecake? I'm going to go with cheesecake.
Scott?
I'll say macadamia nut cookies.
He was very specific.
He was. 2 more questions. I'm sure you're thrilled. Favorite TV show?
Don't have one. I
Okay.
don't watch TV.
I think
So cerebral.
right now I'd say just watching whatever golf tournament is on.
Oh, wow.
To say, oh, I could be that good.
Man, I hit 50 and I just got boring. My favorite dessert should have been vanilla.
Last question. Favorite color?
Blue.
Black.
Blue and black.
Black and blue. That's what Avi almost was during this project.
Yes, that's a great way to end. PSL
Yes.
rockers.com.
Black and blue.
Thank you guys again. This
you.
was kind of weird because we work together constantly, but
Fun.
it was
But
fun.
My
yes.
first time.
Yeah.
First time. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully not your last.
Agree.
I don't know. We'll let the residents decide that. PSLinprogress.com is the website. We'll put everything in the show notes for you guys. And we hope you enjoy it. They worked really hard on it, and I think it's going to be a great project for our residents. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.